Hello, hello, hello. Whew. There is so much to get into. Thank you for joining me for this special edition of Conversations with Taz. We've got some updates we need to go through regarding the Epstein Maxwell files. Yes, Epstein Maxwell. Uh, First, let's clear up some things. It's early Taz time. Yes, hey Jay. Let's clear up some things. Um, Once again, thousands of pages were already released from the DOJ beginning December 19th, 2025. The most recent drop included 3 million pages, 3 million pages of documents. Okay. I'm going to need people to stop skimming things and then coming out with these think pieces. We are in a literacy and comprehension crisis. And y'all are out here taking bits and pieces of information from people who are still trying to understand C Spot Run. So let's get into it. Life Touch. The whole sale of Life Touch started. Jeffrey Epstein was alive but incarcerated. Sale was complete. Jeffrey Epstein was deceased. The person who started that rumor did it for clicks, likes, and monetization on TikTok. They were corrected multiple times in their comment section. They started to play dumb when people started picking up on the fact that they were deleting comments correcting them. You don't have to worry about you being recruited, your children, the minors in your life being recruited through their school pictures. That is not what was going on. Okay. Okay. That's number one. Okay. Number two, funeral directors, EMTs, paramedics are not coroners. Let me run that back to you again. Funeral directors, EMTs, paramedics are not coroners. And they're not forensic. Y'all want so bad for Jeffrey Epstein to be a grand poobah of something. In some way, somehow, Donald John Trump Sr. to be a prolific mastermind that's out here ordering successful hits on people, that you are being a hindrance to comprehension and justice. Y'all have no idea how things look on different bodies with different skin tones. The amount of people looking at a picture, not verifying if this is an autopsy picture or not of Jeffrey Epstein, and not understanding how families can say, no, we don't want an autopsy if there's no suspicious circumstances. Mark Epstein, this is looking at you. If you truly believe that your brother was offed, clock it. You're sitting there going, well, look at the pictures of King Von. Now y'all trying to compare the postmortem of a black man who was shot to death with the postmortem of a white man who hung himself. Y'all sitting there talking about, well, there's sweat. The body does continue to function. There are a lot of times people have quote unquote buyer's remorse as they are committing suicide. Sometimes people can stop themselves depending on the method they're using. Sometimes they can't. The body is going to naturally struggle when oxygen is being cut off. You're like, well, his face is red. I've seen people playing around, strangling one another. I don't know why people think that's a joke, but there's some people that like to be choked up during coitus time. We listen and we only judge slightly today. I'm going to need y'all to stop suspending reality and things that you know for the sake of trying to make things more salacious than they already are. And for the umpteenth millionth time, if you don't know about something, it's never too late to educate yourself on something. Like, y'all were ignoring the fact that Jeffrey Epstein had a cellmate that's on the record saying that he told Jeffrey Epstein, hey, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're planning. Do not kill yourself while I'm here. I do not want to wake up to a dead body in my cell. And I don't blame him. I don't either. Y'all are missing that Jeffrey Epstein's ego could not handle another conviction. He could not handle any more jail time. He had already spent 13 months in jail. He put all of his ducks in a row himself. And offing Jeffrey Epstein stopped nothing. It fueled the fire. People are afraid to say her name right now. They are treating Ghislaine Maxwell's name like she's damn Candyman and Beetlejuice's baby. I can understand that, Chuckles, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have to keep this in mind. There are thousands of victims that we know about that have already gone on the record in some capacity globally to have quashed this story. Do you know how many people would have had to been taken out? How many people would have had to have been silenced? And now, if that was the case, she would have been the one. She would have been the one that was offed. Jeffrey would have gotten another sweetheart deal, and he would have just been banished to his little island. They would have made him turn over his rooms full of blackmail material that he was knowingly collecting on all of these people. Because even from the grave, he's messing them up. Let's not forget, one of the biggest document drops that we had of 2025 came from his estate. That first round of email that everybody was so abuzz came from his estate. The infamous birthday book came from his estate. And stop saying that Pam Bondi is to Donald Trump what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Epstein. She was never a subordinate. She was never a subordinate. That's why I keep reminding y'all, these are the Epstein Maxwell files. She was not a subordinate. This is why she argued in court that she should have been able to benefit from the sweetheart deal, because in the sweetheart deal, it was supposed to encapsulate co-conspirators. She admitted under oath that she's a co-conspirator. She put on the official record she is a co-conspirator. That's why she believes she should have been included in the sweetheart deal. Pam Bondi is more like a Kellen. Yes, there's another woman involved in this, last name Kellen, who was formerly, according to reports from Kellen herself in her testimony, she was formerly a victim that turned into a recruiter that turned into a minion. That would be Pam Bondi. Y'all have to stop trying to turn everything into a Bonnie and Clyde situation when you don't even describe that situation properly. Because a lot of, especially y'all women that have a problem with bisexual men talking about, I need the Clyde to my Bonnie. Clyde was bisexual. Bonnie was married to somebody else. All of these things that y'all keep fantasizing about and creating greater conspiracy about, it's salacious enough on its own. It is salacious enough on its own. Let's get into the latest of the updates. And I'm choosing to do it this way now because it is getting overwhelming trying to put all of them out back to back to back to back to back. There is a full playlist entitled Epstein/Maxwell on this channel. You can go back and peruse the parameters of all of that, especially the parts that TikTok has removed, etc. Because TikTok don't like me. It's okay. I don't like it either, but it's a means to an end. Oh, and side note, if you would like to help your girl be able to do super chats over on this channel, please, at your leisure, pick one thing and just watch the video start to finish so that I can accumulate enough watched hours to be able to fully monetize over here. Thank you in advance. We all need haters. Yeah, I need fewer haters. I truly need fewer haters. Yeah. Having a Tamia moment right now. If you know, you know. So let's get into these dudes. Coming from the US Sun, and that'll be thesun.com. Epstein's secret camera footage emerges, including haunting moment young woman kneels next to pedo at his desk. Grainy secret camera footage allegedly recorded inside Jeffrey Epstein's mansion shows a young woman kneeling beside the convicted pedophile at his desk. There's, hold on. This one seems to be, and this is the secondary picture. This is what I said. He had cameras, he had all sorts of stuff within his residences. Like he's still getting mofos caught up from beyond the grave. But yeah, you know. The disturbing clips appeared to show the disgraced financier in his home office in Palm Beach, Florida, with young women moving around him. In one video, an unidentified woman is seen kneeling next to Epstein, who has his feet resting on the desk. The footage, released as part of the latest tranche of the Epstein files, shows a clear view of the pedo's desk as people appear to sit on or around it. The quality is poor, and the identities of those filmed are unclear. It is not known when the videos were recorded. Cops raided Epstein's Palm Beach mansion in 2005 and found a camera hidden inside a clock in his office, the New York Times reported. There were also additional cameras hidden in different residences and different rooms. Virginia Roberts Giuffre does touch on that a little bit thus far in the book, as far as we've gotten in her memoir. For information about that, you can check out the playlist entitled Nobody's Girls. That is the name, Nobody's Girl, sorry, singular. That is the name of Virginia Roberts Giuffre's memoir. Several of Epstein's victims have long claimed they believed he had a vast network of hidden recording devices across his homes in Florida and New York, fueling speculation he was compiling compromising material on powerful associates. There's no reason to speculate. He's admitted to this while he was alive and walking around. There's no reason to say allegedly here. He said it. Epstein had claimed the hidden office camera was for security. And was. And was. Y'all need to realize what security means to different people. A Palm Beach detective said in a 2010 deposition that Epstein told him he set it up because he believed someone was stealing from him. The only places these girls seemingly were left alone in the houses is if he allowed them to stay overnight. They had specific rooms that they were dedicated to, sometimes in the kitchen, but most often in the pool area. What you stealing from those areas? I'm asking. Emails from 2014 show Epstein instructed an employee to buy 3 motion detected hidden cameras. The worker replied he was installing them inside Kleenex boxes. Photos published in 2019 showed at least 3 surveillance cameras mounted in Epstein's New York townhouse bedroom and adjoining rooms with monitors displaying live feeds. Keep in mind that in his residences, he also had massage rooms that had lotions, oils, figurines, you name it. And craziest part of it all, he had a thing for the color pink, which is quite disturbing to me. But we are reclaiming our color around here, okay? And he also had a thing for decorating in Christian motif, Christian inspired decor, while dibble dabbling in sadomasochism. A sign on one door read 24-hour video surveillance. If you thought somebody was stealing from you, how are you supposed to catch them all if you know what? But federal prosecutors in New York, uh, hmm, federal prosecutors in New York reportedly said in a memo last year that they had not found surveillance cameras in Epstein's bedroom or elsewhere beyond the entryway. As much as he dotted his I's and crossed his T's, don't y'all think that he would have had somebody go in and remove said things and keep that information in their back pocket to keep certain people um, free? Because let's not forget that the Epstein estate continues to make money. Let us not forget the big windfall that the Epstein estate was able to earn last year due to investments in Peter Thiel's corporations. That's a flip flop, reds and all. What do you mean, Chuckle? What flip flop? Now, news anchors are starting to get fed up. And my thing is they should have been fed up. Let's let's keep it a buck. Okay? They should have been fed up. They should have been giving everyone the Biden. Oh, pink, yeah. No, when I was saying I'm reclaiming my color just because it's my favorite color. I'm older than the gender assignment of pink and blue. Quick history lesson. This is why y'all should take history classes from your girl Taff. Um, Pink and blue being assigned and it being socially acceptable to assign pink to girls and blue to boys started in the 1980s. It was a big marketing push. Are there times where it predated? Yes, but a lot of times the clothes were passed down regardless of gender. And a lot of children for many generations until they were school, what we would call school age now, everybody wore dresses. Everybody. Now, me personally, no, I'm not a man. Never played one on TV. No, nothing. Okay. But from having conversations with men, and I've had this conversation with one of my cousins repeatedly over the years, I never understood why men gave up wearing dresses and skirts because it seemed like that would be more beneficial to men. The whole airflow, the looseness, it'd be better instead of y'all creating penicillin in your undercarriage. Um, just, but that's why. But now anchors, y'all should have been giving everybody what I call the Joseph Robinette Biden treatment, where you would hold and criticize Kamala and hold their feet to the fire while, excuse the term, but pussyfooting around everybody else. So let's get into this. Where is? I thought I put it up here. I guess I didn't. Do I not have it? Oh, I do have it. There we go. I'm just blind. Coming from thedailybeast.com, CNN anchor loses it at Scott Jennings over Epstein. CNN's Casey Hunt was visibly exasperated on the Wednesday edition of her show while discussing Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's appearance in the Epstein files with CNN's resident conservative Scott Jennings. I understand wanting to keep things bipartisan, wanting to give perspectives from all sides. I get that. I love that. Republicans, and most notably, former Governor Kasich, y'all are part of the reason why we got here because you were more loyal to your political party and still making it look good while claiming you're not on the side of Trump. Because y'all are out here still making excuses for your fellow Republicans. Well, the French fashion wasn't necessarily pants for men either, Chuckles. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I always find it funny when you get these alpha men that are like, "Ah, this is so feminine. I'm an alpha man. I don't wear that girly, insert slur here stuff." A kilt is a skirt. A kilt is a pleated skirt. Just like right now, they're selling eyebrow pencils and eyebrow gels for men who might be, getting a little light in the eyebrows and they want some thick bushiness because it looks good on them. But they're calling it something else, saying it's not makeup, it's makeup. Just like when they came up with just for men hair color. Let's continue. Responding to two clips of Lutnick played back to back, one in which he said he never met with Epstein after their first meeting, and the second taken from his Tuesday appearance on Capitol Hill, in which he admitted to visiting Epstein's private island. Hunt threw up her arms and said, "You can't make this shit up," as Jennings defended Lutnick's lie as a mere PR blunder. That's not a PR blunder. And I need y'all to stop making excuses because of aligning with gender, political party, race, ethnicity, whatever, or your class, because that's what a lot of y'all are doing. You are choosing to protect people who remind you of yourself. I said what I said. I ain't arguing with nobody about that. In case you didn't get the memo, Taz is not arguing with people that she's smarter than. And if that sounds arrogant and your feelings are hurt by that, I don't care. I don't care. This try to humble Taz Fest is coming to an end. Sorry, not sorry. For the next unforeseeable future, I'm about to be a bitch. I'm about to be a bitch. Like it, love it, skip it, or jump it. But I'm not having any more migraines by people out here trying to humble me, and I got to constantly explain shit to them. Thank you. But Jennings replied, "I don't know why you're yelling at me." This prompted the CNN political commentator, Hino Joseph, to reply, "Because you defend the administration." That part. That part. It is time to start reminding people of how egregious they are. Just like MAGA that's coming out going, "Oh, I need your help. They took my husband. They took my wife." This is what you said you voted for. You're not dying on this hill. You haven't changed your stance. You're going to continue to defend even when it affects you. You just want it fixed for you, and you're going to continue to defend it. What you want me to do? This is something that was labeled as a conspiracy theory by some people on the left during the campaigns for sure, and you have rightly criticized the Biden administration and others for not doing more about it, Hunt said to Jennings. But it turns out that the people that said that there was something really, really, really wrong here that was being covered up were correct. Let's put a pin in this because I'm so tired. This is a both sides issue, okay? And I want y'all to truly hear me when I say this. This is one of those both sides issues. Stop lying to the people. I do not care where you align politically. I do not care where you align spiritually. I don't care where you align morally. Okay? Stop with this. Oh, there's been a cover up for years. People were ignoring it for years. Court cases were going on for years. Investigations were going on for years. Did we forget? She was on trial and was convicted. He was incarcerated and about to go to trial when he offed himself. You cannot release files until all the court proceedings are done. She just recently, as of last year, exhausted all of her appeals all the way up to SCOTUS. She is now put in a habeas petition on her own. No attorney would sign off on this with her. You can verify this. We've gone over it before. So there you have it. There is an order of operations to things. All of this trying to take some accountability and blame off of the egregiousness of Donald Trump and his current band of miscreant pedophiles, criminals, and drunkards is a no-go. This is no-brainer. Let's stop this. When you hear people say that, go, ho, 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 ho. Back up. Take all that dip off that chip. Every last bit of it. Get your napkin and dab off the residue. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is something that has to stop. If we truly say that we want justice, if we truly say that we want sex trafficking, pedophilia, all of these things to stop, we have to start telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but. And also part of that truth is that this bitch right here is not a victim. There are women wrapped up in this too. The more you keep screaming, where's the man? Who's the man? Give me a list of the men instead of who are the people. This is going to continue because y'all look at women as only defending and not participating. They were participating. And some of these women that you're putting in the box of victim, have you confirmed that they're victims? Because a lot of y'all are making assumptions as to why divorces happen between some people. Did you confirm it? Because divorces happen, and y'all are not paying attention to the communications in these files where these women that y'all are saying are victims are still in communication with Epstein and Maxwell. But society has told y'all that women, especially white women, are the default damsels in distress. In some way, somehow, they had to be manipulated into getting someplace. Absolutely not. More times than not, women have manipulated some man into doing something. Y'all try to come for me if you want to, but you know it's true. You know it's true. There is a man out here right now defending the dirty draws of an ex of his because that bitch done convinced him that she is the second coming of Jesus, and the only reason they ain't together is because he didn't get some shit right, where she has been manipulating him the whole time, and she takes pride in, I can take it from anybody. He go forever love me more than her. Y'all slow. It's simple as hell. Because let's not forget the jealousy that this heifer had while she's lining him up for him to knock him down, and she had a whole wealthy husband. And she was manipulating him and putting him in rooms with people so he could make money because she didn't want to get a real job because she was used to being kept and taken care of, but her daddy swindled through all the money and then offed himself. And all of these people in this administration and in the sphere of Trump feel so comfortable blatantly and publicly lying because y'all looking at every other conspiracy theory but the conspiracy theory in front of your face. It was already confirmed around this time last year by Pam Bondi and Trump themselves. Go back and look at the archives. I'm gonna need y'all to learn how to use the Wayback Machine. I'm gonna need y'all to learn how to go to the National Archives. They admitted that they already went through, knew whose name was in there. Trump's name is in these files more than Jesus Christ's name is in the Handy Dandy Sky Daddy handbook. And so are the people in his sphere. Why do you think all of a sudden Trump is trying to be racist so you can, well, letting his racism flow out so you can be focused on that? And for the love of all things holy, every damn thing is not a distraction. Multiple duplicitous things can happen at one time. I'm going to need y'all to stop looking at everything as if it's a damn Lifetime or Hallmark movie. As if, oh, there's just one issue that everybody in the movie must address and focus on. This is not Law and Order SVU, but there's just one crime that happened and the whole precinct is coming down with the entirety of the DA's office to focus on this one crime with this one criminal that they're going to figure out in 1 to 3 episodes. Savannah Guthrie's mother being kidnapped is not a distraction from the files, because what is it distracting? Who's forgotten about it? And what the hell does Savannah Guthrie or Nancy Guthrie have to do with Maxwell or Epstein? Because what would you get? And some people are like, well, she did interview some victims. Okay. What the interviews are already out there in the ether. The World Wide Web is forever. What does taking her mother do now? Only thing that it's done is kept her from reporting on the Olympics. That was her next big job. That's what she's supposed to be doing right now over at the Olympics. Ask people about long jumps, ski jumps, triple axels, dancing. Like, I'm going to need y'all to stop. Y'all the same people that took a woman holding a purse like this, going, see, Illuminati, like, stop. Jesus Christ. I swear, every day y'all make me want to drink calamine lotion. You really do. You really do. Now, let's get to Newsweek.com. Lauren Boebert sounds alarm on torture in unredacted Epstein files. Wait a minute. Why is... There we go. I'm so serious, Jay. Shit. I was out here saying any damn thing. I feel this is right, so it must be right. It's not about as smart as people who spend 67 years on this planet avoiding the doctor. Finally go to the doctor because their leg damn near falling off. They done tried to super glue it and duct tape it on there to now they got to go to the hospital and they found out, oh, the whole leg is gangrene. Talking about, see, I was fine until I went to the doctor. They gave me the gangrene. Poor diet, bath days, and rubbing Robitussin and Vicks Vapor Rub on everything that went wrong in your body didn't have anything to do with it. Not to mention, you drink whatever is on sale at the liquor store 3 times a week, and you've been smoking every cigarette that's been on sale for 57 years. Yeah, the doctor decided it's going to make zero profit off of you dying. Fucked up your leg. Okay. Ted Cruz's call girl need to hush. Actually, this is one of those times where she needs to speak louder and she needs to come out and she needs to apologize to everybody. Representative Lauren Boebert has joined several lawmakers in expressing outrage over what she was able to view in unredacted versions of the Department of Justice's documents on the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Terrifying language in the Epstein files I viewed yesterday, the Colorado Republican posted on X on Wednesday. Emails about torture, frequent talk of consumption, a restaurant called The Cannibal. The women around Epstein were also deeply involved in trafficking children, she added. These are sick people. Thank you, Lauren Boebert. Okay, a combination of words I didn't think that I would ever say in my lifetime, but clearly we're in the upside down. Absolutely in the upside down. This is the ultimate backwards day, year, millennia. I don't know what to classify this as. I don't. While people are out here finally realizing that text messages, not just emails, of Epstein with different people are available, I don't know why y'all are trying to dig for deeper meaning in this. Like, there's a text exchange between Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. People are like, oh, what does this mean? It confirms that he's a racist. Where Epstein was talking to Bannon about Obama. Jeffrey Epstein's a racist. Jeffrey Epstein believes that only white people are wealthy. So that when the Obamas started making some money, they can only be around white people. And the black people hate them. Because, they're hanging out with wealthy people, which to him is a dog whistle for white people. I've heard about that rumor too, Chuckles, about Boebert being a madam, saying that she turned her teenage waitresses into call girls. Given her predilections as a teenager and what she normalized for her own children, I wouldn't call her a madam. And let me explain why I wouldn't say that. Being a woman of a certain age, I remember getting to a certain age as a teenager and the women, particularly around me, still holding on to that adage of girls mature faster than boys, telling me, you know what, you really need to leave these high school boys alone. You need to go get a guy in college. You need to go get the, benefits, and all of these things. And it wasn't so much that they were getting anything out of it, because a madam would get a kickback out of it, would get some type of payment. It's because they really believe it and they don't see it as abuse. They don't see it as a crime. To them, it's normalized. And think about all of the love stories that have been infantilized in people's minds over the years. Oh, yeah, grandpa came and swept grandma off her feet. Grandpa was pushing 30. Grandma wasn't even in the 9th grade yet. And no, once again, not making excuses for her, trying to get people to realize the mindset, because once we realize the mindset, we can start to change it. And that's what we really need to do. Let's see. The Justice Department has not indicated that the files support claims of cannibalism or ritualistic abuse by Epstein or his associates. References to the cannibal refer to a real restaurant, according to multiple fact checkers. Yeah, here's the thing. Once again, if you have never been in certain circles, if you don't verify, fact check. This is not about being the first out with the story. It is about being accurate. These victims are still alive. And see, I thought it was because of Pamela Isley was the reason you wanted to drink it. Well, that too. But you have to realize that when you open up any type of hotline, any type of tip line, okay? People can try to go in and put anything on the record. And there are people who will do that to substantiate their own lies. I'm not going to call it misinformation. I'm not going to call it disinformation, because it's flat out lies. We know that there are people each day, I call them meme farms, where that's what they do. They create meme farms to put out there to push BS. And there are people that will call these tip lines, just like you can see the people who have a long-standing beef with Jay-Z and Beyonce. You can tell who was involved with calling that tip line because, oh, yeah, he's in the files. Yep, I told y'all back in it. Okay. And I'm going to tell y'all again. Stop looking at the fantasy of wealthy people and rich people and start learning about the reality. Because a lot of y'all are fantasizing as to if you had X amount of money, if you were in such and such a shoes, you would move this, but no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Because you would get a crash course in how they work at that level and how things go. And no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. And the longer you sit in that money and the more comfortable you get in it, no, you wouldn't. A lot of things you think that you would buy, a lot of things that you think that you would do, a lot of ways you think that you would move, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. A lot of the things that you feel like are a hassle, you'll be yearning for them. Because when people are like, oh, money would fix my problem, money's going to bring you more problems. And part of the reason why a lot of truly wealthy white men like to partner up with Black women is because Black women already know what it feels like to be left alone. And even in relationships, realize that you are a singular individual, that you're going to have to comfort yourself, that you're going to have to be there for yourself, that more times than not, you're going to be the only ones thinking about you. When you get money, look at what's going on with Glorilla right now. Look what Tony and Tamar Braxton have had to endure because of their sister Tawanda. Look at what Keith Lee is going through with a monochrome of people on social media trying to pocket watch him and feeling as if he owes them something just for mere support, while not realizing he is still a living, breathing human being. Lil Jon just lost his son. They have not even held the funeral yet, and people are already acting as if this man is not a human being and putting out narratives and AI generated. Like, this is what happens when your public increases. We all have a public, but you're not going to move that way. So a lot of people are going through these files and reading it, and not to sound disrespectful, you're reading it through a broke lens. You're reading it through an ignorance lens. And you're turning it into a lens of stupidity, because ignorance is the lack of knowing. Stupidity is you not even trying to know. You're getting comfortable there. You decorated the house of ignorance and made it your personal residence. Coming from iHeart.com, former White House counsel under Obama had deep ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Newly released emails have exposed the relationship between Kathy Ruendler, former Obama White House counsel, and current Goldman Sachs chief legal officer and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, revealing personal exchanges alongside professional advice. And once again, y'all are trying very hard, by y'all, the general public, legacy media, etc. You're trying very hard to take some of the heat away from white people. This is why y'all are consistently trying some way, somehow, to connect these people with non-white folks. Because y'all not talking about the former careers and friends and associates and anybody else unless you can connect them back to Black people. During the first few document drops, things were redacted and released in a way to make it seem like Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, all of these Black celebrities had something to do with them. As if, hey, Harley, as if we don't know and recognize that white people are always trying to get into Black spaces and take the pictures and get souvenirs of being around Black people as if it's a badge of honor, as if it is part of their canon moment to get a trophy with a Black person. On Thursday, February 12th, the Department of Justice published emails showing Ruendler sent Epstein birthday wishes in 2015, writing, "I hope you enjoy the day with your one true love." Epstein responded with sexually explicit comments about male anatomy, to which Ruendler replied, "Hard to believe that there is still an open question about whether men are the inferior gender." The exchanges are part of hundreds of emails reviewed by CNN that detail their relationship, which Ruendler has described as friendly in that professional context. Okay. Now, I will say, do I have some friendships that people would probably say are inappropriate? Probably. Probably. I have a best friend that the conversations we have and the things that we've shown each other, child, I got another friend that if our messages ever leaked, y'all would have some y'all probably ask if we was fucking. You probably would. You probably would the way we talk to one another. Okay, but I wouldn't say, oh well, this is just it's a professional setting. A bullshit. Okay. Um, different people have different relationships and how they talk to one another. I am not going to act as if that doesn't exist. I'm not going to act as if I myself don't say things that people will probably raise an eyebrow to because they don't talk to their friends like that. There are people who keep their friends at arm's length. My thing is, once you get into my inner circle, baby, we in each other's inner circles. Mm-hmm. And if you're a woman, we probably have literally been in each other's inner circle. It is what it is. Like I said, not making excuses, but let's keep things in context. Let's not vilify everybody, knowing that we may or may not engage in these activities also. Now, if you engage in illegal, illicit activities, we're going to judge you. We're going to judge you from the root to the tutor, okay? From start to finish, okay? Enter to judge, depart to continue to judge, okay? Okay. Beyond legal discussions, the emails reveal personal elements of their relationship. In some messages, Rumler expressed gratitude for their friendship and signed off with XO and XOXO. The documents show Rumler inquired about visiting Epstein's private island and thanked him for gifts, including what she described as Jeffrey Boots' handbag and watch. Was she a sugar baby? She a girlfriend? Was she a coitus concubine? Rumler also appears to have helped Epstein navigate potential public relations challenges. In 2015, when ABC News planned a Good Morning America segment featuring Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who alleged abuse by Epstein, Rumler coordinated strategy with Epstein and his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. The interview never aired. In a statement to CNN, Rumler spokesperson Jennifer Connelly said Epstein was a man of 1,000 faces and that Rumler only saw the one he put on to win people over. Connelly added that Rumler has deep sympathy for those harmed by Epstein, and if she knew then what she knows now, she never would have dealt with him at all. Here's the thing. I could have believed that if it wasn't for the quashing of the Virginia Roberts Giuffre interview. Because once again, have I been put in a situation actually towards the end of COVID lockdown when we were starting to get off punishment, okay, when they was rolling out, us being able to go outside again. There was someone, actually two people, that I thought I knew very well, okay, like our friendship had been through some ups and downs. I really thought, okay, and for a while I was arguing people down, like, hey, you know what? And then I was slapped in the face with some reality. Like, oh shit. There's not just one other side to these people. There were three other sides to them. And one person recently, I found out there's a whole nother side of them. And I was like, okay. Because yes, People can Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde all over the place. I get that. And a lot of people, I can't think of the comedian who said this, but a lot of people like to send their representative. And some people have more than one representative. I ain't one of them people. I don't have the energy to send a representative. What you see is what you get. Okay. And I like for people to know what they're getting. I don't want you to feel like you being manipulative with me. But there are people who do that. I could have believed it. I could have believed it. Okay, and everybody done dated somebody that done knocked you off your feet, and then once you get in too deep, and they hit that mask off, fucking, you're like, oh shit, you're the Phantom of the Opera. Put that mask back on. You're an ugly motherfucker. Hey, but quashing that interview, especially as vocal as Virginia Roberts Giuffre became in her life. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The emails also reveal Epstein helped arrange a White House tour for filmmaker Woody Allen and his wife Soon-Yi Previn in December 2015, according to ABC News. Epstein contacted Rumler to facilitate the visit while President Obama was away in Hawaii. And I want y'all to keep that in mind because they are trying hard, and by they, y'all know who I'm talking about, to attach former President Obama with Epstein. If he had connections to Obama, if he wasn't such a racist fuck, he wouldn't wait until Obama was out of the White House. He would have just called him. I don't get what the purpose is with representatives anyway. Hardly manipulating people, deceiving people. That's it. That's all. And for a while, that was like the biggest dating advice people would give. People would literally go to dating coaches or give dating advice to teach people how to trick folks into getting a second date, getting engaged, all these different things. And then they pop out, then they're like, oh, I don't understand why the marriage is so miserable or why it didn't last. Just like for a very long time, there was a subset of men that was taught to woo a woman in and then consistently try to knock her down a peg to humble her to a point where she would never leave. Now, Goldman Sachs has stood by Rumler, telling CNN it's well known that Epstein's MO was to do unsolicited favors for and provide unsolicited gifts to many of his business contacts. If they weren't unsolicited, it was very quid pro quo. And if y'all know that, who else y'all got on staff that is in the blackmail room of Epstein and Maxwell? Like the Will Smith movie? Yes. Where Will Smith was teaching people, Will Smith was basically teaching people how to show who they really were. He just did it in a way where they didn't realize that they were showing who they were because there were bits and pieces. There was a part in there where I guess you could say the downfall of Hitch, where he's like, no, I never told people to do this. I never, do that. Where there's the one guy that wants to deceive women for the sake of just to hit it and quit it. Harley, you're absolutely right, but we have to realize that not everybody has incredible self-esteem, and not everybody has the best intention. There are people who are terrified to be alone. There are people who realize that they may not be on the same level as the person that they've fallen in love with. And there are some people who fall prey to toxic femininity, and some fall prey to toxic masculinity. And instead of just being honest, going, you know what? I can't imagine doing life without you. I love you. I don't want to miss you. I don't want to, lose you, all these things. I miss you when we're away from each other. They would rather have control over the person, make it appear like this person is nothing without them because they don't have anything going for themselves. And instead of working on who they are and making something from themselves, it's easier to take. Because I offended someone who's like, I have abandonment issues. People always abandon me. Are they abandoning you or are they escaping you? And I mean, no disrespect, but y'all know I'm going to ask the questions that need to be asked. A lot of times people use their abandonment issues to force people to stay around them instead of just saying, you know what, I love you, I rocks with you, I fucks with you. I don't want to do this life thing without you. No, they want to treat you like shit and have you cater to them and go, well, everybody else left me. I can see the fuck why. All righty. Rounding out today's update, coming from globemagazine.com, Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, why don't we just call her cohort, partner in crime, dead bitch over there, fuck them up Sally. And for people going, how come she's not catching hands from the rooter to the because she's still in a facility and these bitches want to get out. They now have her in a facility where these heifers done did a little bit of crime. Okay, they done did diet crime. They trying to get out. You talking about the pretty girls. You talking about women who've been on reality TV that have contracts to go back onto reality TV upon their release. They can't fight, and the few that can fight, you think they're about to so that they can go to real prison? I'm gonna need y'all to think. Shit. This is not the show Orange is the New Black. What you think they about to do? These heifers are still able to do their makeup and not like those little tricks that people tell you about. Like, oh yeah, when I was in prison, we made mascara out of the colored pencil. No, they got real makeup coming in, okay? They got Ulta and Sephora and MAC shipments coming to them. Y'all not about to have me day drinking. Yep. No. Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell claims 25 unnamed men made secret settlements to victims. But you still have it. And you married a wealthy man when you go. Jeffrey Epstein's convicted pimp. Yep, that's what it says. That's what it says. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein's convicted pimp, Ghislaine Maxwell, has unleashed the nuclear option in a last-ditch effort to get out of prison by claiming in court papers a group of 25 untouchable men made secret settlements with victims and implying they could and should be prosecuted per New York Post. These victims want them prosecuted. It ain't that much of a secret, you dumb bitch. But you've never been good at reading the room or reading, period. They called her, you know what? I said to stop calling her certain stuff. And they said, you know what, Taz? Hold our beer. They called her a convicted pimp. You know what? That's it. That is it. That's her new name. That is her new name. Altogether, class, convicted pimp Ghislaine Maxwell. Convicted pimp Ghislaine Maxwell. It was a pimp named Ghislaine. Ain't a pimp named Ghislaine. Ain't a pimp. A pimp named Ghislaine. Okay. I got questions and concerns too, Holly. Woo, gee, the Jiminy Crickets. What? Sorry. My convicted peer. We know what we heard about you because you appeared. Okay, one expert believes Maxwell's carefully crafted legal grenade is a clear message to the dead pedophile's rich and powerful friends that she may start naming names if her 20-year sex trafficking prison sentence is not overturned. Guess what? It doesn't matter. Epstein kept blackmail material. It's still in his estate. Congress, UK, other countries start subpoenaing from the estate. Because there are open subpoenas that still haven't been fulfilled. It's an absolute negotiating chip. She wants a pardon, a reduction in sentence, a commutation, private investigator Ed Opperman tells Globe. She's throwing this out so that the people on the list will use their wealth, power, and influence to get her out of prison, to keep her quiet. Doesn't matter. If it worked, there wouldn't be so many victims showing up at these hearings, sitting behind AG Bondi. They wouldn't be holding press conferences. They wouldn't be doing all these interviews yet again. And they wouldn't be fighting and clamoring to get the documentation to sue these people individually. They would not have come together and said, hey, we're getting together to put together our own list and compare notes. Let us not forget, Tassie Farms remembers, that Epstein's estate itself paid out millions to victims. This isn't a bargaining chip. Y'all keep putting a battery in this bitch's back. I'm gonna start hanging and putting y'all pictures up in every retailer until them stop selling you motherfuckers batteries. Shit. God damn, motherfucker, shit. The 64-year-old British socialite filed the writ of habeas corpus in December after exhausting all her appeals to overturn her 2021 conviction. Yeah, her time to bargain was before she was convicted. But she can't bargain. You can't blackmail a co-conspirator. It's confirmed and documented. Not only did she recruit, she lied, she extorted, she molested. The only way for her to tell on people is to tell on herself, which would bring about more charges. Nobody is shaking in their boots right now. Nobody. Not in regards to this threat from her. Ghislaine Maxwell does not know how to use the information that she's sitting on. The habeas petition, however, appears to be the first time she implicates others, including 4 of Epstein's co-conspirators who worked recruiting victims. New evidence reveals that there were 25 men which the accuser's lawyers reached secret settlements that could equally be considered as co-conspirators, Maxwell wrote in a searing petition. It wasn't that searing. I read it. The most salacious part was the amount of attorneys that were like, I had nothing to do with this. Make sure you put that shit in there. I ain't signing my name up. Let them know you came up with this shit on your own. The government could have indicted the 4 named co-conspirators or any of the 25 men that settled secretly with the lawyers for the accuser complainants, but they didn't. Because you're not giving any information. If nobody gives any information, what are they going to indict? If I witness you commit a crime, you don't go tell on yourself. I don't say shit. What is there for somebody to indict on? Like, let's think. Let us critically think. Okay, let's go to the mind gym for a minute and work out the smarticle particles behind our eyes and betwixt our ears. What is there to indict if nobody's talking about the crime? And there are victims who have long wanted to talk about the crimes. But the way Epstein and Maxwell put things together, a lot of folks didn't know the names of these people. As things are coming out in the news, they're admitting like, oh, that's that person's name. Oh, that's that person's name. There are people who were just introduced to folks as CEO, prime minister, dentist, doctor. They had no clue. And because they were being flown around, people were being flown in and out. They had no idea if these people lived in the United States, if they were from the United States, if they were from the booty crack center of Mars or Neptune. Maxwell has long maintained the government was looking for someone to indict following Epstein's 2019 hanging death in a New York City jail where he was waiting trial for sex trafficking and she was made a patsy. You're not a patsy when you're fucking guilty, you dumb fuck. Like, are we forgetting how much you lied, Ghislaine Maxwell, to the point where you had perjury charges, and the only reason they stuck a pin in the perjury charges is because you were convicted for what you did? Are we supposed to forget, because Tasby Farms isn't, forget that you bought another house, packed up and moved, thinking that you could just move away from consequences? Are we supposed to forget that your goofy dumb ass took your cell phone and literally wrapped it up in aluminum foil because in your infamous dumb fuck of a brain that lets you know just how piss poor the education system is for the wealthy? And Great Britain, I'm looking at you because that's where the fuck this bitch was educated at. You thought, oh, they can't track me or get any of my information if I put it in the aluminum foil. And don't chalk it up to her age, because there's a 12-year-old right now that believes that shit too. Stupid is, the stupid does, and the stupid doesn't have an age. Nobody was looking for a patsy when Epstein killed himself. Because if they just wanted a patsy, wouldn't they have had it with Bill Clinton? Wouldn't they have had it with Kevin Spacey? Wouldn't they have had it with R. Kelly? Wouldn't they have had it with Weinstein? Wouldn't they have had it with Bill Cosby? Wouldn't they have had it with Diddy? No. And some of y'all, I need y'all to hear me out. Hear everything that I'm about to say. Some of y'all need to pipe the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Y'all need to stop acting like you have the moral authority, because you're the same goofy motherfuckers that said it wasn't no big deal when Woody Allen, with his also racist ass, because name me a Woody Allen movie with a non-white person starring in it, with a non-white person a part of an ensemble cast. I would say I'll wait, but I'm not trying to die sitting here waiting on you. When he ran off with Mia Farrow's daughter while dating Mia Farrow, y'all didn't say shit when Jerry Seinfeld was parading Shoshona all around at 17, and everybody was doing interviews with her, and it was all over the gossip mags that she was 17 fucking years old. Y'all didn't say shit when Drew Barrymore was getting tossed around like a fucking blunt at a Snoop Dogg party underage. Mm. Y'all out here talking about you want a woman who act like your big mama, who was forced into marriage at 12 and 13 years old. And you said nothing. You're sitting here going, how was this able to go on for so long? How would the people must have been paid off? No. Who paid you off? Who paid you off to say nothing when your 14-year-old cousin was walking in with gold jewelry, brand new Jordan, new starter coats in high school, and you knew her parents only worked part-time? We have to be honest about what has been normalized over the decades that all of us have been alive at this point, and what was normalized and what was acceptable before that, and what's still acceptable now. Sugar baby websites still exist. TLC network still exists. No great conspiracy theory needs to happen when society is already accepting of things. You're only outraged now because you've seen how egregious it is, and the vast majority of the faces are white. Because the same thing that these victims went through, R. Kelly's victims went through, Diddy's victims went through. But your reactions were different. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. Keep that firmly, firmly in mind. You don't have to make everything into a conspiracy theory. You don't. Life fuels and inspires art and fiction. You don't have to spice up life. You really don't. And with that, thank you for joining me here for this update on Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. Once again, there's an entire playlist dedicated to that. Otherwise, I will see you all back here at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 Central for the Taz Effect. And do not forget, today is Fun News Friday, where we're going all over social media and having the woosah moment. And I know I was a bit off yesterday. I'm making my way back. Uh, but I will say, between last night and waking up this morning, many, many thanks to folks that decided I needed candy. I have I'm sorry, 5 pounds of candy now. Thank you. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. YouTube assaults me with girlfriend advertising different. Yeah, I can believe it. Hello. And here comes my boss. Hi, Miss Harley. Hi, Miss Mamas. I know. It's time to end it. I know. I'm going to. Thank you. Taz needed treats. Yes. Thank you all. Girlfriend. I will see you all later. In the meantime, in between time, if you're not subscribed here, make sure that you are and make sure that you turn on notifications. Also, make sure you check out Tazisms.com. A couple of promo codes. They are streaming across the top of the website. Go get you something. Be your own Valentine. All right? All right. Till later.